Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Sarah and I am just beginning my YouTube journey, and I'm posting videos about my current makeup collection, shopping my stash, a late project pan, and just kind of discovering new makeup along the way and sharing my thoughts with you. So it's definitely been a couple of weeks, well, more than a couple of weeks, since I switched out my everyday makeup drawer. So it is high time that I do that for the coming months. And if you want to see what I picked for my last Shop My Stash everyday makeup drawer, I will link that video above and in the description below, so you can catch up on that. And if you want to see what I switch out and pick for the coming months, then just keep watching and we will get started. I'm very excited to pick makeup with the idea of like Thanksgiving coming up, and so focusing on those types of colors and palettes that speak to me for that holiday season. So let's go ahead and get into my makeup drawer that has most of my collection, and we will pick out some things together. Okay, so we are back again in the drawer that's in my Alex drawers that houses the majority of my makeup collection. And I guess the first thing that we will start with choosing for this everyday makeup drawer will be concealer. Last month I was using the Maybelline Magic Eraser, or whatever, not Magic Eraser, that's the cleaning product, the Instant Age Rewind eraser. I'm gonna pull this back in because, as you can see, it's almost gone anyway, and this really is what I've been enjoying using under my eyes. So I'm gonna pull this back in to my everyday makeup drawer. And then I have just the tiniest bit of that Tarte concealer left. I did have the mini size last time, and I've depotted it into this little jar. So like that's really all I have left, which is just a few more uses, honestly. So I am going to finish that up, but then I will need another concealer once that's gone. So I think I'm going to choose my IT Cosmetics concealer in this little jar, just because it is probably my next oldest concealer, and there's quite a bit of this left. And also it is a lighter shade, which I think will work for me right now. This is the shade Fair, as compared to another concealer that I have, the Catrice True Skin. It's still showing up pretty light on the camera, but this is the shade Warm, which I honestly think is just a little too warm for me right now. So until I get another concealer in my collection, I'm going to use this one in my everyday drawer for the next couple weeks. And I already have a powder going in my project pan, the LYS powder, the translucent powder. So I'm not going to choose another face powder because I really am focused on using that one up. So next I'm going to choose a blush and another bronzer, even though I do have that Essence bronzer in my project pan. I think I'm going to I like to have two bronzers going. So I think what I'm going to do is pull in my Hourglass Ambient Lighting palette. Why can't I open this? Just because this has a lot of powders in it that I can be using. So it has two bronzer shades, and then it has these two blush shades that I can kind of use, and then these two highlight shades. So I really think this palette is going to be good to pull in for the next couple weeks because it's just all the face powders that I need in one. And I really, as you can tell, I haven't really used this that much since getting it last year, and I really would like to get more use out of it, especially now that I, as you've seen in my project pan updates that I'll link below, my original 3-pan Hourglass palette, I did use up the two powders in here, so I can finally feel like I can use this bigger palette. So I'm gonna pull that in. Let's see, in terms of lip products, I'm thinking, I do have a lip liner going already in my project pan, but I'd like to pull in another one. So I think I'm going to pull in this Urban Decay 24/7 pencil in Naked 2. This is just a nice kind of warm color that I think is going to be good for fall. I think it's a little more brown than the one that I'm using right now, so perfect for fall. So I'm going to pull that in as another lip liner option for the next few weeks. And then in terms of lip color, I think for lipstick, let's see, I feel like I haven't looked at a lot of my lipsticks in quite a while. Okay, I think, no, actually, yeah. I think what I'm gonna do, this is really old. Do you remember when the lip butters were like all the rage? I had so many of them, and I actually still think they're really good. So I'm gonna pull in the Revlon lip butter in Fig Jam. This is definitely, it looks really intimidating in the tube, just how dark it is, but honestly, once you swatch it out, it's the lip butter formula, so it's more sheer. So it's just kind of a nice brown, like purpley shade, and I think that's gonna be perfect for fall. So I'm gonna pull that in as a color option for lipstick, and I think I'm also kind of in the same vein, this might be too much, I'm gonna pull in this Makeup Revolution lipstick from the Friends collection in the Rachel shade, because this also is kind of like that darker purpley pink shade, very 90s. So I'm gonna pull that in because I just think those will be really good colors for the weather and the season right now. Sorry, I keep sniffling. My allergies are like raging right now. So then I think in terms of gloss, I think I'm going to pull in the Fenty Beauty gloss that I still have been using. It's the Fenty Glow 01 shade. This is just a mini that I got as a point perk in a Sephora order. I've been really enjoying this, so I'm going to keep using this for the next few weeks. Let's see, I guess since this Hourglass palette has a highlighter in it, I'm not going to pull in a separate highlighter from over here. I'm just going to kind of stick with that palette and see how I like that. Just getting everything from one palette for the next few weeks. So honestly, I think I am done with this drawer, and we can move into one of my upper drawers that has my eyeshadow palettes, and we can switch out the palettes for the next few weeks. Okay, so this is the best angle I can get of my eyeshadow palette drawer. I think you can pretty much see most of them. I guess that one's a little far back. So I'm going to replace the ones that I was using last month. So I had been using the Urban Decay Naked Basics. I was using the Natasha Denona Mini Nude palette because it was new to me at that point. And then I had also been using my other newest palette, the Sigma Enchanted, which I really enjoyed using this one. It is so pretty. Like the sparkles in there are just so fun and like still good to wear like on an everyday basis if you have an office job like I do. So I really enjoyed that, but I think it might be time to switch things up a little. This one's so long, I don't know where it will fit. So let's just kind of, okay, that's good enough for now. So I think going forward for the next few weeks, I want to pull in my next newest Natasha Denona Mini, which I got in the last month. As you can see, I haven't even swatched it or dipped into it yet. I got the Mini Sunset. So I think these colors also are perfect for this time of year, especially with, it's almost November when I'm filming this. It's the last week of October. And so I think this would be a really fun palette to have in the rotation for the Thanksgiving week, especially with this darker kind of like maroon pink color over here and then the browns and golds. So I'm going to pull this in for the next few weeks. And let's see, what else do I want? I think kind of similarly, I'm going to pull in this e.l.f. Mini Quad, just honestly because of the colors, and the name is Pumpkin Pie, so what better time of year to pull this into the rotation than the month of Thanksgiving. So I have used this a number of times and I really like the colors. The only problem with like this
format of a palette is you can see all the colors are pretty dark. These are both shimmers, and then these are both mattes. And these both are too dark for me to use as like a crease blending shade. So to use this palette, I do need to pull in another palette that has the lighter colors and the blending shades. So that's the only drawback of this palette, but I think it is still really fun and just such a cute name to be using this time of year. So I'm gonna pull this in, and I also think it will pair pretty well. Like the colors are fairly similar in these two palettes, and I think you could use both to create a look. So then I think for my last palette that I'm going to pull in, I want to think about getting something that has more of those, maybe some more of the blending shades that also would work with those darker fall colors. So let's see. I haven't pulled out any of my Natasha palette, or what am I talking about? My Anastasia palettes in a while. I think I'm going to pull in the ABH Subculture palette. I know this one isn't being sold anymore, but I got this a couple months ago on, I think, Mercari, and it was just slightly used, so I was able to get it for a fairly good price. And as you can see, maybe like even the plastic is still on the mirror, so I felt pretty good about buying it used because it had such little use. And honestly, I've only dipped into it a couple times, and I really don't know if I like it. So this might be a good chance to kind of test it out more and be able to use like this Dawn color as a crease blending shade, or the Roxy color, or even this color over here as some crease blending shades. And then also these colors are very fall. So I think this would be a good time of year to test this out. And then if I'm still not really feeling it, kind of once we get more into the holiday season of Christmas and New Year's, then maybe that would be a sign that this does not need to continue to live in my collection. But yeah, so I think for now I'm going to pull this in and just kind of offer some of those blending shades and then a different color story than the Natasha Denona and the e.l.f. palette. So I think that is all I'm going to choose in terms of eyeshadow. So let me gather all the things together that we've chosen, and then I will do a quick recap.
Okay, so now that we picked everything out from the drawers, I'm going to do a quick overview of everything that is going to be in my everyday makeup drawer for the coming weeks. The first items are just everything that's in my current project pan. I will link that playlist down below. It's just a foundation stick, a blush, a powder bronzer, a face powder, and a lip pencil. So now I will go over everything that I chose that will go in conjunction with those 5 items for the next couple months. So starting with the rest of the base, I decided to keep in my Maybelline Instant Age Rewinder. This is just a solid holy grail product that I always go back to, and as you can see, there's really not that much left in it, so I would like to just kind of power through and use up what I have of this. The other corrector I chose, or concealer, is the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Breakout Concealer. I actually don't feel like maybe this does much for my breakouts, and maybe I've had it for a while, so maybe the active ingredient isn't really active anymore. But the color is a good match for me right now, so that is why I chose this. And this is a pretty full bottle. As you can see, it's pretty much to the line right here. So I wanted to get some use out of this since it's been in my collection for a while. For the rest of the face, I really just picked one palette to cover it all because I also already have a translucent setting powder that I'm using. So I chose the Hourglass Ambient palette. This was from a couple years ago, and it just has a variety of powders. I really don't have a lot of wear on it, so I haven't dipped into this too many times, but I'm excited to use it, and I realized after I chose it that this is actually pretty perfect because I do have some travel coming up. So it will be much easier to just kind of throw this in my travel bag and it cover all the face powders that I need in one place. For lips, I'm actually wearing both the things that I chose on my lips right now, or 2 of the things that I chose. So the first thing I chose was another liner, the Urban Decay Naked 2 liner, the 24/7 Glide On pencil. So that's what I've lined my lips with today, and then on top of that I put the Makeup Revolution Rachel lipstick. It's just giving me very like 90s and fall vibes at the same time. So I'm really excited to wear this lip combo more throughout the month. For another fall kind of lip shade, I chose the Revlon Lip Butter in Fig Jam. Super pretty. It sheers out like you saw earlier in the video. But I'm excited to kind of pull in an oldie but a goodie. I'm excited to use this again. And then for a gloss, I pulled in the Fenty Beauty gloss in the shade 01, I guess is the shade. This was just a mini, but I think this is also a good topper for fall colors, so I'm excited to use this as well. And then the 3 eyeshadow palettes that I pulled in was the Natasha Denona Mini Sunset, the e.l.f. Pumpkin Pie, and the Anastasia Subculture. So I really think that all 3 of those palettes will work well together to create a variety of looks. Let's see if I can hold them all up. You can see the colors. Yeah, so I kind of feel like just the color combo, like this has a little bit more of that red color, but it kind of ties into this. And same with the pumpkin pie with the browns and the golds and the yellows. So I really think all 3 of those together will create some fun looks for the fall and Thanksgiving time. So I'm really excited about that. So that is everything that I chose for my kind of second part of fall everyday makeup drawer. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below if you want to see a look I create with any of these eyeshadow palettes, or if you have any other videos you'd like to see from me. And be sure to subscribe. I'm just beginning my YouTube journey, as I said in the intro, and I would really appreciate your support and just notifying you when I put up a new video, which I'm trying to do about once a week. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.